able to pluck a Freya out of position, a Xingchen or Susano to be able to gank her and lock her down. There's a lot of capability on the Knights to do so, but there's also a lot of saving grace on Sanguine to keep her safe in the event of disaster and distress.
Well, this gives Sanguine their chance for the 1 seed if they can find a win over the Knights.
During the quarantine, storms rolling through Georgia knocked one of our guys out with a power surge, but we're right back. Just like that, we're in game, and just like that, Cubo Fred is back into the long lane to the tune of a first blood onto Netrioid. That's electricity, and Pittsburgh Knights will swing first. Brought up her viability just a little bit. The Sanguine boys do have some deep wardage over on the left side of the Pittsburgh Knights jungle, so we'll spot out the attempt to steal away those oracles, but won't dissuade it. Watch out for Panatom. Up into the air he goes, and down he slams onto Neoma. That's finally some life here from Sanguine, a small spark in this game. You get yourself a kill.
Maybe makes them feel like they can get away with positioning like that.
Scary D, questionable pathing now as well. Near the FG, some ultimates will be traded. Scary D falls. Nonetheless, suddenly Panatom has come alive in this game. Sanguine looking towards this Pyromancer. River's Rebuke from Rongyu will just knock the Knights out from being able to move in, and Sanguine will lock it down. But now Neoma has re-engaged on this fight. Sanguine looking to move out, but Cubo Fred has different thoughts. Pulls a couple in, but nothing to be found. Sanguine
has given it a shot and liked it quite a bit, but both Hastened and Telkines are such massive power spikes. It could be hard to box them from here on out.
Finally, some action over in the short lane. Paul will detonate Yarkor for a kill in this one. Tied up 2 for 2. Rongyu still the ire of Scary D's eye here. That's a great knockup from Cubo Fred, but Panatom Anvil of Dons his way down. Rongyu certainly will fall here as the Pittsburgh Knights pull themselves 1 kill ahead. A nice 2 for none from the Knights. Watch out for Netrioid on the
get your tower this early. She just doesn't have the capability to do so without multiple waves, whereas another Hunter would have been able to put significantly more pressure.
It's Panatom and Yarkor that want to defend this tier 1 tower. Yarkor will toss out the ultimate and at least will grab 1 stun. Cubo Fred unable to escape this one. A nice triple knockback from Scary D, but the tower dive appears to be on. Shinto with the transformation will swoop through. You got 2 Amas working at you. Yarkor, the true one, will finish off the kill, and just like that, Sanguine going to turn around a 0 for 2 loss a few moments ago.
Teleport by Cubo. Normally, I think he is one of the most mechanically gifted players in the league. Not right there.
Panatom, realizing Zapman is still here and doesn't have much mana, will look for the fight, misses down on the stun. That would have resulted in a surefire kill, and Aegis from Zapman might just delay the inevitable here, and Panatom swings his way a few more times for his 3rd kill of the game.
Nothing like a good old Zapman up-down remind you what you're watching. You know, this is classic SPL here.
Who are we kidding? Neoma, though, will use the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel and won't connect onto anything. Scary D has found an opening in the backline, but a River's Rebuke from Rongyu will split the fight. Double knockup from Cubo Fred will open the door, and Sobek will snag a kill in this one. Sanguine not dissuaded, though. We're going to move back in. Netrioid, well-timed beads there will prevent the pluck. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but you've lost your mid laner. Zapman, rather, still back on respawn, so it's a 1 for none here, and the Knights still looking to push in. It's a stun down onto Cubo, and Netrioid has found himself a kill. A stun down, and the Freya is tossed backwards. Scary D with his 2nd in this fight. The leap up and over from Neoma, and maybe the 2nd charge is enough to get him out, but there's the Ama ult from Yarkor to shut Neoma down.
That fight was so good for PK, and then they just get a little bit too greedy. A whole lot of effectiveness. That's the way to think about Freya. She trades her effectiveness in bursts.
Here's maybe some fireworks. Yarkor will swing the ultimate through. Nice stun down from Rongyu, and that's a decent River's Rebuke, but Paul can still escape, but not further than Panatom with that Anvil of Dawn. It's a nice double swing from Neoma, beads out by 1. Shinto, rather, transforms into Panatom here. Rather, the Thor slams down in the mid lane. Netrioid will finish off the kill as the Morrigan transfer is complete, and the Freya has her 2nd of the game.
That got all that started and took Paul out of that fight.
Well, a few kills and a Primal Fury will have Sanguine chomping at the bit to lock down this FG. Shinto says, see you later to Cubo Fred. Now it's up to Zapman and Scary D to move in, and they do it! What? You gotta be kidding me! They steal it away! How many times have we seen this stall out a game? Sanguine starts it, but the Knights, they finish it off. Zapman will lose the buff. Scary D, he's on the retreat in the mid lane, and wow, from the Knights, they move in and take the FG.
What this team does, they get the lead and they don't let off until the very end.
Well, Sanguine won't feel nervous about it. Watch out for Panatom, who will find Paul in the back line underneath the Phoenix. Dash away, not enough, as Netrioid has 3 kills in the last couple of minutes. Right side Phoenix will fall down. The Pittsburgh Knights, 2 members really back on defense here. The chase could be on. Netrioid locked into a corner here. Neil and Cuvo are going to dash in, and Netrioid finally falls. Moves Freya to 3-3 now. And Wrong still on the escape. So it's a right side Phoenix, but you lose at least 1 member if you're Sanguine. Right,
It's
true.
just they feel like they have all this momentum.
Could be the big fight. Neoma in, Scary D in as well. It's Netrioid, the perfect target for the Knights to identify right off the bat. The chase could be on. You have to be careful. Panatom doesn't have his Anvil of Dawn remaining. 5 members of the Knights on the chase here. Wrong, you will be able to portal his way out beneath his tier 1 tower. Cuvo, Fred, Neoma, both on the pinch. The Arcor dashes through, and it's Wrong you who gets pulled back, and certainly will be the sacrificial lamb here as Cuvo Fred will knock him down. 5 members of Pittsburgh Knights up against 3 of Sanguine on the defense. A beautiful thing at the start of that fight for the Knights, and really opened the doors to what would have been tier 1 and 2 towers falling. Scary D pulled up, and a decent wall by Panatom will lock him off from the re-engage. Whirlwind of Rage and Steel will be blocked out by a couple of Sanguine. Panatom, you gotta be kidding me. Delete Zapman from the game, and the 2-tap onto Cuvo. Fred gets it done. Neoma off to the side. The engagement from Sanguine aggro, it works out. Suddenly the Knights' backs against the wall.
I mean, Panatom finds the huge dunk, but it's because Shinto walked in and found the 2-man stun on top of both backliners. Shinto might be finding another, though Scary D gonna interrupt him nicely, but he's undeterred. Shinto still moving forward, but
Ooh.
Paul makes a nice play.
Immediately knocked down by Panatom, who has moved his way on in there. Scary D underneath the Titan. It's under attack, and aggro, I think this might just be it for the Knights. They steal away a Fire Giant to keep themselves in the game, but Scary D against the world won't be enough. Sanguine turn the tables and take game number 1.
He's a hyper carry in and of himself, and I think it opens up Sanguine, granted, to some dangerous plays, but to some good ones if they can get there.
Well, Sanguine are on a tear right now with a chance to grab the first seed if they close this out in 2. Dolson, bring us the action.
Some fireworks here in the long lane, but half health bars is all we have to show for it.
It's really good timing. Speaking of good timing, no dash for Yarkor, no mana for ultimate. Great timing by Cuvo, Fred, and Scary D. They pick up first blood on the right-hand side of the map, but Neil could sniff that aggression coming from Sanguine.
Invade over onto the Sanguine side of the map, a gank from Cuvo Fred, now a return gank over onto Yarkor, who might have to use Dazzling Offensive to get out. Teleport will be channeled and won't be completed. Cuvo Fred with the up-down. Yarkor, death number 2.
So much better than Susano. Susano has good displacement, and that's usually what you're looking for on solo lane ganks, but not enough.
Good beats from Zapman will mitigate a lot of what Panatom was looking to do with the ultimate. Does connect on the return ability, though. Spun around by Neoma there, but Panatom will have to use his beats to get out of it. Zapman catches one final Now You See Me. That's first blood in this game from Sanguine, followed up by a nice rotation from Shinto. 1 for the jungler, 1 for the mid. The Knights are able to grab 1 onto Netrioid, but it's a 2-for-1 at the end of the day for the team in red. Could get worse here as Cuvo Fred drops down that Fear No Evil. It's a purple buff invade that's not to be. Gold Fury, but Wrong, you will have to go back to base.
And look at where Scary is. He just walked between tier 1 and
good
tier 2,
opening.
trying to leverage this lead that he's earned, but Netrioid and the rest might have gotten away.
No.
Well, not Netrioid, but the rest all get away from Sanguine. The Hunter, a little bit too late to get the memo. From Zapman, that you want to try and catch Sanguine rotating towards one of your team fights and punish them.
Panatom catches Paul sleeping in the mid lane, just as we're thinking about maybe what the Knights can do different. It's almost hard to expect sometimes those big, long-range Mercury ganks. Now it's tier 1 tower. Watch out for Cuvo Fred, though, in the back line of Sanguine here. I think smart from the Knights, realizing it's not a winning fight. Could be in a moment, though, as Scary D has found a rotation around the back line. 1 Fear No Evil catches, the other beat it out by Shinto there. Wrong you caught to the side of one of his own waves, and Zapman will knock him down. Zapman on the retreat, though. Scary D is as well. Tier 1 tower suddenly to Haven for Sanguine. It's Tier 1 for 1 kill. Watch out for Netrioid for maybe these next items coming online for some of the Knights frontliners. Scary D being one of those frontliners here. He is stunned down, will have the jump and pops the thorns, but not enough to escape the damage of Yarkor, who will shut down that solo laner. Panatom having crit and Netrioid as well might be a little bit too much, but just as what happened last time, Cubo Fred's getting attacked right as this conversation begins, and Fear and Evil will drop down, maybe delays the inevitable here as Yarkor's still on the chase. Will he jump back? No, he won't have it in time in the dash away from Yarkor, but he only has a Phoenix to go here, and he'll be trapped back in the Knight's base.
No teleport for him either, so he's dead from this position. No chance he ends up surviving this. But look at how much space he's pulled Paul and Zapman back to. They needed both these guys to have a chance of killing him, and Yarkor might actually get out. But look at this, because he's creating so much. Fire Giant by Sanguine.
Well, Yarkor does end up dying, and it's a knock-up over by the Fire Giant pit for the Knights, but Scary D's all on his own off to the side, and Nilma will leap his way away. Yarkor goes down. 2 members of the Knights still on respawn. Fire Giant is up. Nilma moves in, maybe for a potential steal this time, but Sanguine look to make no mistake as Panatom spins around Nilma. It's a nice double stun from Zapman and grabs the kill onto Rongyu. The perfect transformation into the Hunbat. You gotta be kidding me. That delays this FG. Zapman with the big play, and the Knights somehow save the Fire Giant.
Man, Zap stuns 2 on the fire ring, which is just perfect. It does enough damage to finish off Rongyu, then he finds the perfect transformation and kills Panatom. That's a huge individual play and one that was needed because things have not gone well for PK otherwise.
Oh, and a nice Aegis from him! No way, he knocks him up. Netrioid falls back down. Paul finds his second kill of the game in some style.
Man's job on this team to throw away relics when you're definitely dead. But Paul does it just so he can make sure he gets this knock-up off. A great example of where Shell is better than Aegis for a carry, because Paul continues to be in a position where you're crushing waving back towards your own base, but that means you were out of position beforehand, or you've got a crushing wave into it. But what a sonic boom for Panatom. Zapman already taken out, and Scary D and Neil are going to be next.
Panatom flies through, sets up a couple of kills. Scary D is low, and that's a double now for Shinto. Fire Giant being looked at, and Fire Giant will be started by Sanguine. Cubo Fred in range, doesn't have the Fear No Evil just yet, but it looks like he might just give this one up. Health bar top left of your screen, down to about 3,000, and Fire Giant rotate back to the rest of his team. You might be seeing a different look, despite Fire Giant being on Sanguine this time. Scary D on the full rotation as well. Watch for Cubo Fred to maybe leap in. That's a double knock-up from Paul to plug away some good damage. Fear No Evil from Cubo Fred sends Netrioid back to the gray screen. Rongyu will look to get out of his own River's Rebuke, but it's Cubo with a well-timed double that has the Knights out ahead of this fight. Paul will look for the killing spree. Yarkor turns one around, and suddenly it's a couple members of the Knights on the digress, but 3 members down from Sanguine.
Man, I don't know what it is. We're here on the left and on the right, so maybe they have the slight advantage should they get a big fight in their favor.
Maybe that frenzies the Knights to move forward. Sonic Boom, not great from Panatom this time. Does get him into the back line where Paul has to crushing wave away, but Zapman's there on the peel. Panatom finds the one shot anyway. He trades out his life. Nilma has died. Elsewhere in this engagement as Cubo Fred looks to get himself out, but it's Fire Giant assisting the rest of Sanguine here. Shinto will burn down the Hoonbats, and Sanguine turn their eyes towards this enhanced Fire Giant.
Shouldn't take them long either with Shinto there and ready to go. I mean, that fight just gets split
shortly, so now 2 exposed Phoenixes that the Knights have to deal with. 1 minute left on the Fire Giant timer. Neil looks for the engagement. Rongyu holding on to that River's Rebuke. Sunbreaker down, Neoma spins around, but instead it's his head that's left spinning as Panatom has found the kill. And it's Knights getting engaged on the backline. Paul rolls through with the crushing wave. Scary D stunned down. 3-man Fear No Evil as Cubo Fred maybe helps the Knights turn this one around, but it's the left side Phoenix that'll fall with 4 members left on the defense.
And Cubo gets pinned up against the River's Rebuke. Panatom falls to the nice water spout by Paul, but they've got to worry about this Oni Fire Wave in right. That's going to open up this mid Phoenix with ease.
Paul is sent over there to try to knock down that wave. Can't quite decide which way he maybe needs to go here. A stun down onto Zapman. Paul is here to help on the defense. Yarkor knocked up, but a double stun might turn it around. Mid lane, Phoenix down to half HP, but the Titan, it's dying in the meantime. Sanguine, you just have to walk in and hit it once, or the minions just gonna get it done. You gotta be kidding me. Sanguine win the game.
I told you, bro. Only fire waves will solely